Kevin, it's been a long time.
Polly, where should I begin?
Okay.
It's been 5 years now.
Bror, 5 år.
5 år sedan.
5 år!
5 år sedan jag såg den sist.
Dags är 5 år.
5 år. I'm Diego. I'm Diego. Jag är tillbaka. Welcome! It's been 5 years since the release and premiere of Paradise at both the cinema and on YouTube. And we are here to talk about the movie. What we'll do, we'll summarize the entire movie and we will share some cool trivias with you guys. Let's go. Yeah, Aller. The stories. Paradise is what I like to call en förortssaga, a suburban story from the Swedish ghetto, and tell the story of a man changes his life after years of bad decisions and influence of criminality and drug use. We begin our story with our protagonist Diego. Diego is a suburban guy that in the beginning of the movie gets an offer that will come to change his life forever. Days later, we see him struggling with his bad decisions. At the same time, we introduce two other characters, Aaron and Ibbe, that lives totally different lives than Diego. Aaron is this cool dude that works hard and loves cars and likes to be in the moment. We also have Ibbe, an ambitious man trying so hard to get out of the suburbs, and he finally gets his will by getting accepted into college, or university in this case. We see these guys celebrating their friendship by telling the stories of the good old days, drinking, playing cards and just hanging out. But when the time comes, they all have to say goodbye to each other. We really see on Diego how much this friendship really means to him, especially his friendship to Ibbe, how much this goodbye really takes on him, and that their friendship will never be the same after that. 5 years later, here is where tragedy really strikes. Diego is now all alone and struggling. He lives on the street and we can see him trying to survive. We see his tragic environment that he lives in, and instantly the audience know he messed up. We still don't really know what brought him here, but more than just bad decisions. Then one day, everything changes for him. His last remaining things gets taken away from him, and now we truly see Diego has lost everything. In that desperation and in that hopelessness, Diego makes a choice. He chooses to go back to the same place that once broke him, which is home. Here we meet Loco, the mastermind behind Diego's struggling pain, and Maurice, this crazy, violent maniac. Loco is the antagonist in the story. We see him really challenging Diego, both manipulating him, gaslighting and threatening him. He is also the one that we see in the beginning of the movie who comes to Diego with an offer and also promising him protection, gold and heaven. But in reality, Diego has been cheated and now has no one else to rely on except for this evil kingpin. Once again, he comes to Diego with an offer, and unfortunately, Diego has no other choice than just to accept. Diego's new task is to break into a car and steal a very valuable suitcase that's been taken from Loco. But before he gets his chance to strike, Aaron comes by and greets Diego as an old friend. 5 years has passed and we totally see the difference between the both characters. Both, though happy to see each other, Aaron invites Diego for dinner. Diego doubts for a second before finally accepting and forgetting all about his old task. But he's soon to get reminded when it's revealed that the car Diego was supposed to break into is actually Aaron's. Diego realizes now Aaron has also chosen a life of criminality and now stands either between save his own skin and betray an old friend, or stay loyal but also suffer the wrath of Loco. Fortunately, Diego does betray Aaron. He threatens him with a gun and later runs away with the suitcase. This betrayal really infuriates Aaron, and we later reveal that everything was for nothing because Diego comes to regret his mistake all too late, and then by a stupid mistake loses the suitcase in the metro. Diego later informs Loco about this loss, and Loco does not take it well. In this point, we see the fear in Diego's face. We all know that Diego's days are now numbered and that he will have to watch his back because Loco is now coming for him with both fury and vengeance. Det är bra. Diego tries to go to his family. First, he visits his sister, late at night, but she does not welcome him. After 5 years of absence, she is furious and hurt that Diego hasn't made an effort to contact them, tell them about his whereabouts. She kicks him out and also tells him not even to try to contact their mother, because their mother is very sick and could not take another heartbreak from Diego. He still tries to contact her by using his phone, but when she answers, we see on Diego's reaction how much he regrets by not being there by her side. We can hear that the mother is worried about Diego, and he tries to calm her down by lying to her, saying he is okay, that he is fine. By lying to her, he tries to protect her from the truth that Diego is not doing okay, and that he really needs her help. This makes Diego wander around his old neighborhoods in the night and in the cold. But suddenly, he stops. From a long distance, he sees his old love, his old flame, and his ex-girlfriend Vanessa. That brings so much memories to him, memories of warmth, love and support. A time where he truly was happy. He tries to get close to her, he tries to reach for her, but he doesn't dare. He turns around and walks away, but suddenly Vanessa feels his presence and turns around to face Diego. They embrace each other, both are crying, and we can see that Vanessa has missed him too. Diego, relieved by this, hugs her and asks for her forgiveness. When both of them goes for a kiss, Diego suddenly wakes up from his daydreaming and realizes this is too good to be true, and this imaginary scenario could never be. Both take a different path, and Diego has no other choice than to sleep alone on this cold winter night at the bus station. With still some pride, he lays down to rest. But his dreams do not calm his soul. They remind him of his harsh reality that he's trying to run away from. For a second, we see a night of passion, a night where Vanessa and Diego has a moment of heart to each other, about their past, and embraces their love to each other, but later intervened by anger, shame, and pain. Diego's addiction brought to an end to a wonderful relationship. Even if Vanessa tried to help him, it wasn't enough, and Diego's greatest mistake is hurting the one he truly loves. 5 days later, we catch up with Ibe. We see a busy Ibe trying hard to attend his pregnant girlfriend and his studies. We see an overworked man fighting to remain patient when he has no time for himself. Then suddenly, in the middle of the night, hears a knock on the door. It's Diego. Ibe welcomes his old friend against the will of his girlfriend, who does not welcome Diego. But Ibe chooses to stay true to himself and help a friend in need. It's a sleepless night for both of them. Diego goes out to the balcony and Ibe follows. Diego confesses his crimes and sins, especially the worst one, the one where he tells Ibe that he killed a man. This was the task in the beginning of the movie, the one that tests his loyalty to Loco, the one sin he could not escape from. This haunted him so bad it affected his relationship with his friends, his family, and his love to Vanessa. He tried to escape this reality by doing drugs, but only brought him more suffering to his life. Ibe, shocked and angry with him, sees a broken man and chooses not to judge, and instead chooses to forgive and guide Diego for betterment. Winter passes and Diego is ready to face his reality again. He goes back to his old neighborhood and feels the summer breeze. He finally accepts his life how it is and gives himself time to reflect and heal. This is the first time we see Diego embracing the real meaning of paradise. He realizes what he has to do. He needs to find Vanessa and ask her for forgiveness, the one he fantasized about. It doesn't take long until both of them crosses path again. Diego meets a new and changed Vanessa. He does his best, but Vanessa is not ready to forgive him fully. both of them are still able to enjoy a peaceful conversation about the past and the future. Vanessa encouraged Diego to move on, but he admits it will be difficult. They finally say goodbye to each other. As Diego is about to walk away and take a last glance back, he is met with a familiar smug smile. Sleazy eyes hiding behind a pair of sunglasses, a nightmare becomes real. His greatest enemy, Loco, has become the romantic resting place of Vanessa. Diego chases after them, but falls over. It's too late, and Diego realizes that Vanessa is in great danger. As he calls for help, he calls Ibe. But then, the diabolical Maurice is waiting for him. And that becomes a chase of cat and rat. During the chase, for a breathing moment, Diego believes he has lost Maurice, but encounters another familiar face, Aram. But this time, the tables has turned. Aram is now the one holding the gun. Diego begs to Aram to put down the gun, but Aram is blinded by vengeance. Diego says to put down the gun, not because he's afraid to die, but because he knows the mistake Aram is about to commit. He has been on the other side of the gun, and he doesn't want his friend to fall for the same path as he once did. Aram chooses peace and let him go. Maurice later catches on to Diego, which leads to the final part. And then suddenly, a loyal friend appears. Ibe sees fear in Diego's eyes, and then sees how Maurice hides the gun behind his back. Ibe chooses his bravery and standing between them. He tries to defend his old friend until Maurice starts to point the gun at them. Diego, not fearing anymore the consequences, is now ready to face his destiny. He's tired of running and wants to end this chase once and for all. Maurice shoots Diego in the shoulder, and Diego falls down to the ground. Ibe takes a final glimpse at Maurice, and he doesn't hesitate to pull the trigger. With the echoing sound of the bullets, we see flashing images of the characters in the film, unknowing of the tragic situation that just occurred. Ibe laying down on the ground, bleeding and taking his last breath. Diego cries out for help, but no one else is there to help. Ibe, an innocent man, dies because he was the only one who did the right thing. An innocent man leaving behind family and friends. Diego cries because of his mistake and suddenly gives in to the pain, closes his eyes to rest. The final image of both them laying in the gutter as the camera travels away and the gates to the garage closes, therefore closing the audience away from Diego's dream of paradise.
Kevin, why did you make this movie?
Why did I make this movie? I wanted to make a personal movie. I wanted to make something that I made in the past, and that is a suburban movie with the Swedish ghetto in the center. I wanted to show how the criminality in Sweden, and especially here in Stockholm, has grown. And I wanted to show that right now it's the innocent, the ones living in the suburb, taking the consequences of it all. It was supposed to be a short movie. It was supposed to be like 5 to 10 minutes. But after I started to talk more with Polly about the story, and our friendship started to grow as movie makers, we started to be like, this has more to tell. This character, they're more complicated, it's more complex. And with that, Aram appeared, the third friend. We got Vanessa, the love interest. I wanted to make this movie so personal. I even called my sister to help us to actually play my real sister in this movie. All the places we see is filmed in a familiar place, and it's Akalla, where I grew up. I wanted to film it during winter and then show the beautiful part of Akalla and the suburb. That's why we also filmed during the summer. to show really the green part of Järvafältet, for example. One of the inspirations also was from a family member who told me his life of his past criminal history. And I wanted to show that he did a recovery from drugs, that it took a lot of him, and that even his family denied helping him. And all that is based on true stories. At the time I was making this movie, I was still studying to become a teacher. And in the news, I heard a teacher stood in the middle of an attack and got murdered because he was defending kids at the school. And what was it? It was exactly what the movie is all about. The criminality in Stockholm growing and innocent people dying. I felt this personally, and I said, this movie is important. We have to make this movie for everyone in the suburb and show that there is a way out. You can put down the gun and it's not too late. Even if you fucked up so hard, it's not too late to make a change. I never intentionally wanted people to feel sorry for Diego. Yes, in the beginning we feel kind of sorry for him. And yes, when he confesses to Ibe, you can feel empathy. Yes, you can, but you do not forgive him fully. And that's the meaning, because the only one who truly does is Ibe. He was the greater person that actually did not judge Diego for this and actually accepted the mistakes of his friend and forgave him. I've heard different views, which is the best scene of Paradise. We have so many. It was so fun making this movie, especially with friends from the university, with my sister, and with Polly, because me and Polly weren't friends yet. We were just becoming friends. I think it was the first day filming, and it was at my place, and it was with Lisa, Olivier, and Polly. And so you guys know, to Polly, I was like telling Polly, oh, this is a serious movie, you know, this is all about criminality, it's a very sorry, it's very dark. And then we were just laughing.
It was a sitcom.
It was a fucking sitcom, and we laughed so much, and Polly was holding the camera like, what was this movie all about? It was also very professional, and I will always keep that in my heart, the connection I had with Jackie during this time filming. I will give Feli the cred, because he did exactly what a villain was supposed to do. He looked intimidating, he was evil, and he looks like a smug villain. He did that. But what I really wanted, I wanted a more Loco. I wanted him to be more improvising this wild part of this kingpin. I think Feli did not bring that, what I wanted, but he did his best, and we got a whole new character that I'm very happy to see now in the final cut. Hands to you, man. And I think the best part that people really loves about this movie is the part with Aram, Ibe, and Diego. When all the friends are just hanging out. It felt so natural, and we really did not want to end that cut. We wanted to continue filming, and I wanted to put more scenes with all of us three, but we couldn't because the movie was getting too long. It's too long, we know it. I know the critic of it.
We kill our darlings more than people know. But this movie didn't have many darlings killed, except for the bloopers, which is a separate video, which we recommend to check out. But
it's a very funny one.
We cover different genres in the movie.
Yes.
There's the drama side, there's the romantic side, there is the comical side, there's even the silent movie side to the whole thing. And I like that you mixed these different tonalities and the ways of storytelling in this larger movie. And also for the fact of not having, let's say, a shorter runtime. I think it goes to the fact that this was your first feature movie and you wanted to explore everything. So I think we can defend it by saying that. But yes, we hear you people. It might be too long for anyone who is a newcomer, who doesn't know us or Kevin, and that could be a bit much to handle.
But I'm very proud of Paradise. It's like we said in the beginning, it's my first feature movie. I will always look back at it with a happy smile, and that I did something so personally. I also challenged myself as an actor in this one. I really gave my everything to it. I even grew my hair and beard for a long time. I showed myself nude. I showed myself in a sex scene that is so scandalous.
Do you want to talk about that?
I was so afraid to show that because when it came to the premiere, I did not want to hear from my friends or from my family or from anyone, oh, Kevin is humble bragging here. Oh, look, he shows us a beautiful girl to just kiss on the movie. So unnecessary. I didn't want to hear that comments. I really didn't want to hear it was unnecessary because this is actually a very beautiful scene for Diego. This is him embracing and remembering back to a place where he was happy, he was safe. Something that Loco truly took away from him. Twice, even in the ending of the movie. I told Polly, how can we change the scene? I don't want it to make like Kevin is bragging or Kevin is only want to make this sexy or wanted to make it hot. I wanted to make it different. So I told Polly, what if we not only show the best part of Diego's life, show the audience Diego's most tragic moment, combination of his best moment and his worst moment in life. And it's when the addiction comes and when it affects the entire relationship.
Those were some of my favorite scenes in the movie, and I think it says so much with no words. And I think everyone understands what's happening emotionally. So I think that was a success.
Yeah, it was truly a success. One of the greatest moments was when Albert helped us with the drone filming Shista. Oh, fuck me. It was amazing. It was an amazing day. Me and Polly, we were feeling like small kids, like, oh my god, can we fly the drone? And I'm so glad we took those images in the movie when we were traveling around the suburbs with the car and saw the entire streets and all that stuff. Oh, it was awesome. I really liked that part. Production value. Hey, shout out to Albert. Shout out to David Engel, who also filmed a part in the movie. He probably have forgotten about it, but he actually helped film the part when we killed Björn in the football field when Diego shoots him. Yeah, it was one of the parts were you filming it, and it was also David. So hey, shout out to David Engel. Fun trivia about Paradise. Did you know
there was supposed to be almost a post-credit scene?
Oh, I forgot all about it. Yes, it was supposed to be the last scene we filmed also. Damn, we believe we were like in a Marvel universe or something. We wanted to both build up Kalla Ord that was coming, and we also wanted to build up, hold your head, Paradise 2. We wanted to film like a scene where Jacko and Theo was walking around Söder and talking about the good old days, and it was supposed to be after the movie Kalla Ord, after that story, and they will suddenly see someone in the trash. And who would it be? A bleeding Diego.
We were actually in costume. Me and Dennis re-recording lines. We were doing ADR outdoors. We were in costume just for the sake of it, waiting for Kevin to appear to do the scene. And then he canceled last minute, and we were out there like, okay, he's not showing up. We're really ready for the scene. And then...
It was a very stressful day. My dad was helping doing subtitles to the movie, and we were not finished. And I knew I had time. Oh, I have to meet Polly and Dennis. And later, I was just overthinking it, and I was like, no, the movie's too long, dude. And I'm not even sure if I want to do Paradise 2 and all that stuff. So yeah, I just cut it. I just said, nah, Polly, let's not. Will there be a Paradise 2? Probably not. Not with this budget that we have. We want to make other movies. But the future of Paradise is not over. That's all I can say. It's not over. There is more to the story. There's more things that we cannot add to the movie. But hey, in the future, maybe this will be a good pitch for something, for a series. Well, a TV show or something, or maybe a book in the future. Let's see what happens with Paradise. The rest of the story. Because there is so much more to tell. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, we end this podcast with Kevin Bernales and Paula Yahunin Calderon and Dennis Conway.
As much cigars in my life.
Bring in that part.
I'm afraid. I'm traumatized. This is what Henry Cavill must feel like working for DC. I'm just... What the fuck was this? I don't understand. This is disgusting. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Ugh. Fuck that shit. Okay. Thank you for watching. I hope you really liked this movie. I hope you liked this clip. And tell us if you want to see more of this. Who knows? Bye, everyone. Magic fingers.
Cut.